Hi everyone, welcome back to the only channel that will help you reach both your inner and outer self-realization through the help of psychological types theory and Bitcoin. Today we are talking about psychological types theory, and in particular we are addressing our attention to functions slots. So, first of all, everyone has all of the 8 cognitive functions. They are just ordered in different ways for each of the 16 types. The way the cognitive functions pile up is called the stack. Therefore, for what we said a moment ago, everyone has a stack with 8 slots to be filled with the 8 cognitive functions. The first distinction we should make is between the first 4 and the second 4. The first 4, or the top 4, have a more positive substrate on top of which they are built, while the second 4 feature more of a negative one. Another distinction is between active and passive attitude, meaning that an active function will like to create something or get through the personality and may produce an imbalance. Active functions are independent and they like to push on the accelerator, so to say. A passive function, on the other hand, may act as a feedback, placing some boundaries to the active ones and breaking them, creating equilibrium. They are the brake system of our minds. Not to have an insanely long video, I decided to split the explanation into 2 parts. For today, we will focus on the top 4 functions, which will be more than enough for a general understanding. In the future, I may release a follow-up video explaining the role of the last 4. Let's start then with the first slot. It is called the dominant or the leading, and it is the default state of our mind. It is the one we feel most comfortable using. Also, it is the source of motivation through life and the source of self-confidence. It is clear then that it has an active attitude, meaning that it is creative and engaging. The second function is called the auxiliary or the tool function. It has a role of support toward the leading function, and it is used as a tool in problem solving. Also, a sense of responsibility is attached to it, and it generally protects the third function. For this, we say it has a passive attitude. Please remember that by passive attitude, we mean that it acts as a brake trying to balance the leading function and avoiding being overwhelmed by it. The third function is known as the child or the role function. It is perceived as a personal weakness, so everyone is prone to get very angry or irritated if it is hit with harsh criticism. Also, this function is the least aware, the least conscious of the top 4, since the fourth function is directly repressed by the leading, but the third function is not repressed by any function at all. Because of this, it is normally the hardest to improve throughout our lives. Okay, so we are finishing the top 4 functions with the so-called repressed or vulnerable function. As we mentioned a few moments ago, this is actively repressed by the leading function. Because of this, it must be developed consciously. Otherwise, it will be prevented from developing by the dominant function itself. Since this is hard work, it feels irritating and wrong to develop it. Also, this function is attached to well-known insecurities, afraidnesses, and anxieties. If it is stressed, it can lead to harsh conflict with others, and so it's better to keep off someone else's repressed function unless we provide it confirmation and reassurance. So, as you see, we ended up having this little table showing you a 4-function stack with some bullet points to help you remember the structure, and it's shown here. I hope you like this video, and see you next time.